Hi folks, and welcome to a bit of information for you that I'm hoping will help you out with your load cells. Now, what is a load cell? According to Wikipedia, a load cell is a force transducer that converts force such as tension, compression, pressure, or torque into electrical signal that can be measured and standardized. There are a lot of options out there when it comes to load cell pedals, mainly on the brake, but some even do offer it on clutch and throttle. To accommodate these pedals, you can normally find springs and polymers that are included or can be purchased to change the feel of the pedal. Most have software that you can change settings to suit your feet needs. But what does this all mean? Well, basically, we're trying to mimic a brake pedal of a race car. Now, all the info I can find online is that a race car pedal is very hard and very small movement, and this is mainly down to the fact that race cars don't have servos. A servo dramatically reduces the physical effort needed to actuate your brakes with your foot. This is normally a vacuum created inside the main body of the servo via a pipe running to the engine's air intake, and this vacuum will put extra pressure into the braking lines, thus helping you, the driver. Since that's a bit of background on what the hell we're trying to do with our load cell pedals, we've got two options really. We can either mimic a full race car, so very hard pedal, very difficult to press and not a lot of travel, or we can have something a little bit more close to home, i.e. your road car that you drive. So let's dig in to what makes your load cell pedal work. And this is going to be completely personal to you and what you prefer to drive with. So this is only giving the information on how to get to that stage. So what we need is two scales, two springs, let's name them hard spring and soft spring, and also we need a foot, which is going to be represented as a 5 kilogram weight. The scale will obviously represent the load cell in your pedal. The spring will be representing the spring and polymers inside your brake pedal or throttle or clutch for that matter. And the 5 kilogram rate is going to be the pressure that you're physically applying to the pedal system with your foot. So let's add our 5 kilogram foot pressure to the soft spring and see what happens. Obviously it deforms. So let's also add our foot pressure to the hard spring, see how little it deforms. So the scales were zeroed with the springs already on, so the only weight that's going through into the load cell or the scales is 5 kilos. So what do we think the scales are going to say? 5 kilo for the soft, and also we should get 5 kilos for the hard. So what this means is all the springs and polymers makes no difference to the input of the load cell. The springs and polymers are only there to change the pedal throw and partly change the feel of the pedal under your foot. You can have a short pedal or a long pedal. That is your choice. On to sensitivity now of the load cell. As mentioned at the start, there is a handful of software that goes with your load cell pedal to change the sensitivity to your liking. Sensitivity on the load cell goes hand in hand with the spring and polymers. On the graph shown, you can see 3 pedal sensitivities: high, medium and low. Low sensitivity will need a high force and a high sensitivity will need a smaller force. Basically, the orange high sensitivity low force pedal will reach 100% game input at a lower foot pressure, as shown by the steeper angle of the line. The opposite scale, we have the yellow low sensitivity high force pedal, which you'll need to place a lot of force in the pedal to actually reach 100% game input. On screen right now you can see a little breakdown that I've made just to try and explain what these two areas of the load cell pedal would come together to try and look like for you. Hard springs and polymers with a low sensitivity would give you quite a short throw on the brake pedal, but also really difficult to get to 100% game input. On the completely other end of that, if you had soft springs and polymers with a high sensitivity, you will have a long throw pedal, but it'll be really easy to get to 100% game input. So between these two variables you can mix and match as you please, and this is where it comes down to personal taste. Obviously we're all different drivers, we all prefer different things, and this is hopefully where it can help you decide what you want out of your brake pedal. Braking is one of the most important things in sim racing. We need to get it right. So hopefully this video has tried to explain the two areas that you can actually manipulate your load cell brake pedal to get the best out of it for you. If you have a soft spring or polymer in your pedal but have high sensitivity, you will need less force to get to 100% brake pressure. therefore slightly less travel in the pedal to meet that game input. Whereas if you had low sensitivity on the same spring and polymer, you'll need more force, so therefore will have more deflection in the pedal. Just something to bear in mind. Now let me know in the comments how this has helped you out, or whether it hasn't helped you out. I am expecting a few comments telling me that I am mistaken with the springs and polymers, but as I say, they're only a way to transmit your foot pressure to the actual load cell. So they don't actually affect how much pressure you're putting into the load cell. They will affect the feeling of the pedal, completely agree with that, but physically they won't change the amount of pressure that you're putting in the pedal. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully it might help a few people out in how to set up a load cell to your personal taste. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.